Hey, I'm Rutledge,
Hey, I'm Connor.
and we're Friend Stream Sports. We're real friends who talk about real sports in real time. And Connor, happy Thanksgiving week, my friend. It is time.
As the weather gets colder and the food gets fattier, football and all kinds of games are just getting more and more important.
Oh, I mean, you said the phrase that pays though. It's not the food gets fattier. It's the fat gets foodier.
The fat gets foodier. So excited for this week, Rutledge. How are you feeling? Has your household started to prep for the meal?
We are actually going to go out of town for Thanksgiving this week, so I've already had my first Thanksgiving of the year earlier this week. My side of the family, as we all live in the same town, we got together on Sunday and had a Thanksgiving meal, but we had ham. So Connor, first hot take of the night: is ham a Thanksgiving food? No turkey at all, just a ham.
To have a ham, yeah, you could do that. I mean, it's a little out of the ordinary, but I've had Thanksgiving salmon before. So,
Tell me about Thanksgiving salmon.
a few years, every now and again with my family. By the way, what's going to be really fun is that we're both in white jerseys. Um, about every 5 years with the Bourne family, we we kind of just do a little freestyling for Thanksgiving, and we went out, and I wanted salmon. I didn't want turkey. I didn't want ham. I went ham on the salmon.
Nice. So you went slamming on that salmon.
I did a little slamming salmon. So, it is always fun, and we do appreciate playing Detroit, the Lions versus the Cowboys, as we're going to be seeing these two teams, and there is a traditional turkey carving that will happen on Thursday.
There is going to be a massive turkey carving on Thursday, but before we get to Thursday, let's do one thing to be thankful for, and that is tonight. Orlando City is 1 minute in to their playoff match against Nashville. And I'll tell you, Connor, I'm a little nervous about this one because Orlando City is not, on some things I read, no one's picking the Lions tonight. So,
If
uh,
you were to believe everything you read on ESPN FC, a lot of things would be different. Lionel Messi would not be a good player, but I have a lot of faith in the Lions. I think that uh, Orlando City over time has just been one of those teams that continues to let down. But I think a lot is just going to depend on Daryl DK, right? It's kind of Nashville's offense versus Orlando's playmakers, and I think this game is going to be kicking off here momentarily. But uh, you know, is it going to be Nashville's back line that's just stingy, or will guys like Nani and Pato get to get into the game, make an impact? Mueller and Pereira get to set up DK, to give Orlando a tight squeaker. I mean, I think those are some of the questions that you have to ask.
some big things to think about and remember is that both Nani and Pato are not starting. DK and Michelle will be the front two strikers. Um, you do have Perea and Mueller going to play out in some wing positions, but you do not have some of our bigger names out there. Now, that defense is looking really, really good with Ruan and players like Johnson all the way in the back, but it'll be interesting to see whatever this lineup is, but I trust in what Oscar Perea has put together because he seems to take the team, and unlike managers past, he knows how to manipulate the lineup so it works in his favor.
Oh, absolutely. He's not going to be intimidated by this spot. Orlando City as a franchise has been in the playoffs before. They've won a playoff game, so Orlando City's not going to be intimidated by this spot. And I think that there is a lot of good things to be had for this game here tonight. But Rutledge, you need to stop me, man. I'm making this Lions offense look pretty good.
This Lions offense is just carving me to pieces right now. I don't know.
So,
There's
but
no
Rutledge,
defensive play call that I can seem to pull up to bring it down.
other soccer stories. Did you follow Manchester United? You see what's going on there?
I did not follow Manchester United. I did read an interesting piece though about uh, how the current coach of New England Revolution has said he really inherited a mess in order to take over that squad and get them to be as successful as they've been. But what did you see about Manchester United?
Yeah, so on the weekend, Manchester United fired their head coach Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So Manchester United is now, they've got their caretaker manager, and they are really in some struggle here. They lost 4-1, on the weekend, and you have your guys like Ronaldo. You have a lot of really good players that just haven't showed up, and the Glazers, who also own the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, finally decided to pull the plug on the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer project.
I think that's the right call considering Manchester United, which was supposed to, in all preseason once Ronaldo was signed, supposed to be dominating the Prem League, is now sitting 10 points out of first place and is even 6 points behind trying to get a top four spot. As you score a touchdown, getting your 6 points on the board in a defense that fell apart like a poorly made pumpkin pie.
And that's our first missed kick of the night here. Friends Stream Sports, where we miss kicks, but we make takes.
We also eat desserts.
We do eat desserts. But yeah, so I found it very interesting, right? And Rutledge, would love to hear your takes. I mean, is this Manchester United job, is it still a good job? Where would you kind of rank that if you were to be, a coach looking for a team?
Now, I want to ask it. Are we, for argument's sake, are you ranking Manchester amongst the Premier League, or are you ranking Manchester amongst a team that could go into the Champions League of all those jobs? Because I think that job is more of a entirely continental job for Europe than just a country job, but I want to know what page you're on.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking in terms of, Big Five, the Big Five leagues, right? England, France, Germany, Italy, or Spain.
I definitely think Manchester it's a top, like a prestige job. It's very much a top five. You've got to think out there with some other ones. Of course, your other ones that come to mind. Now they're not open, but like Barcelona. You have to put Chelsea up there. You also have to put PSG up there with their recent success. But Manchester is definitely a historic program, but it has a lot of pressure because they are resourceful, but they haven't dominated in the way that I'm sure their fan bases want them to. They're not doing awful, but right now when you're eighth, you have not a stacked ton of points, and you have the talent, but the talent's not producing. There's a lot of pressure in that job, and I will say, given that Manchester City has gotten better and better and better, that job has become a lot harder. It used to be that city was red all the time, and the blue not so much, and now that's a derby up there. So I think in all the big fives, it's definitely a top five. I don't think I could argue and say it's not the number one job in England, but I'm putting it a top five of jobs that could be out there.
Oh, wow. Great catch by Amari Cooper.
Amari Coop.
That's a top five kind of catch.
Where do you rank it, Connor?
I hear you, though. I think that, I think some of the questions that you have to ask is, will the team, will the organization not just buy the good players, because that they can buy a lot of good players, but are they going to give the coach kind of the control and the reins that he wants and needs? Or will there be too much internal politics? Will there be, if you wanted to hire an assistant coach that had ties to Liverpool, would you all of a sudden, could you not be able to do that? I think there's a lot of questions to answer there.
Definitely a lot of questions. As that wraps up our first quarter full of questions. Also want to say hi to Steven the Steady. He's back again. Steven's a big Cowboys fan. I don't know if you remember that, Connor. So There's a lot of pressure on me to win this Thanksgiving Day game of the Cowboys versus the Lions, with both teams basically wearing the exact same uniform, which we did not plan.
I'm surprised there hasn't been one interception yet.
I mean, I tried to throw a couple there on my run.
That you did. It was close. If my defense was any better, you probably would have.
I probably would have, but I did get the extra point. Speaking of,
good for you.
Speaking of getting the extra point, actually, we'll start with this one. Speaking of getting the extra point, someone who's no longer getting extra points in Gainesville, Florida, is Dan Mullen. Connor, we talk about jobs that are desirable out there, and you talk about Manchester City. Right now, opening up the college football takes some jobs that are open that I can just put out there are Florida, LSU, USC, Washington, and Virginia Tech. Out of those 5 jobs, which one is your number one most desirable job?
I think out of those 5, I really do think LSU is number one. I think that you're at least going to have a little bit more time to get things right while being a big time program. Another team, probably number 2 would be USC. Followed by, and I don't have much love for the Gators. I'd probably put Gators ranked number 3 in that situation. Just, you're going to have some good recruiting opportunities being in the SEC, followed by Virginia Tech and Washington, but they're kind of a distant number 4 and 5.
Yeah, I think I can agree with you on LS1 as number 1. Now people would say, well, you've got to play Bama every year. But I feel like, especially in LSU, with their recent success, there's been a lot of surging in support of the program. There is no coverage for the pass here on this defense.
And by the way, we are 1 minute into Orlando City's second year in the playoffs. Their expedition for the Lions to go on the hunt here against the Nashvilleans.
The Nashville Trashville.
I'm going with Nashvilleans. That's kind of what I'm seeing here. But so Rutledge, one of the things that you see, and what was kind of said by the Florida athletic director, was that there has been some success with the coaches sort of post Urban Meyer, but now it's about sustaining that success, right? The Florida Gators, they started out really hot. They're 5-6 right now. If the Florida Gators lose to Florida State, they are not going to be bowl eligible, which, what a fall from their, not just last year, but how they started out this season.
Yeah, they had such high expectations of being a playoff team. Remember last year they were one bad shoe toss away from being in the top, of beating an LSU team at home. They were close to beating Bama in the SEC. They had a really good NFL draft class. And now all of a sudden we're talking about not making the bowl, firing our coach, allowing Samford to score way too many unacceptable points in a game against an FCS team. And look at here we are. I had a conversation today with someone that I really think, Dan Mullen was an overrated coach who, while he had some success, for the wheels off the bus to fall off that hard that fast, you did something wrong. Speaking of wrong, that was wrong how long that running back stayed up. But there was
we called that a glitch in the video, the glitch in the system.
Paul Feinbaum did a really good take today about how Mullen just didn't seem to like to recruit for Florida, and especially in that region with Kirby Smart doing a great job. Nick Saban's not too far away. You're in this Bermuda Triangle where you have to recruit, and he just didn't seem to be bringing the guys in. So, not surprised here that this happened. But Connor, give us your last couple seconds, as I do want to talk some college. Do you have anything else on the Gators? Because I do want to talk the college football rankings, because something big has happened.
Yes. I think that, to your point, it's not that Dan Mullen wasn't a recruiter. I don't think he is a good recruiter. Apparently, there was talk that Urban Meyer wouldn't let him go out and recruit. So I think Dan Mullen's future career might end up being a little bit more on the NFL side of things.
Yeah, that's a good way to end that conversation about it. But they're not in the top four, but we'll preview our top six as we always love to top our top six for uh, for the college football playoffs. And just killing me tonight, Connor. I'm just getting ripped apart.
Little pitch and catch.
So the top six for college football is number one Georgia, number two Ohio State, number three Alabama, number four the Cincinnati Bearcats, number
Whoa.
five Michigan, and number six Notre Dame. I am very impressed and very proud of the College Football Playoff Committee. I really thought that Michigan was going to be in the top four in order to make the Michigan-Ohio State game bigger, because we have seen in the past some teams will get snubbed out of the rankings in order to make a big game feel bigger. I don't know if it was for TV money or if it's just because the playoff committee is looking ahead, but I feel like this ranking is done right, and I am very impressed with what's been going on. Connor, how do you feel about this top four?
Yeah, I think number one, you could still very much have that de facto play-in game of Ohio State, Michigan. Although we still got to remember that there will be a Big Ten title game. If Georgia beats Alabama, here's my. I don't know how hot of a take this is. I don't think a two-loss Alabama makes it in. So in some ways, that's kind of a de facto playoff game, assuming that Georgia and Alabama take care of their business this weekend. So no, there's still some big games there. I see. I've always kind of thought that you need to have 1 year with this 14 playoff format of a group of five team making it in. They might get the doors blown off of them, but that will at least sort of, give the team a chance. And I think this is the great season to do that.
I definitely agree. I think, of course, Cincinnati has to handle their business. I don't know how I feel about Notre Dame being that close to, and you say, well, they lost to Cincinnati. Cincinnati's number four. I don't know how I feel about Notre Dame being kind of, if Cincinnati screws up at some point, obviously I'm taking Michigan to lose. Notre Dame's still right there on the door to where I don't think they deserve to be that close to the door. But then again, I have to have a job to talk sports where some people have a living to get to talk sports. Of course, it is rivalry weekend. Connor, in your opinion, going into rivalry weekend, does this rivalry weekend feel as big as rivalry weekends of the past? Or because it's all about the college football playoff, does it feel like rivalry weekend doesn't matter as much because teams are... It's very much a year of, we said, the haves and have-nots. There are teams that have and teams that have nots, and the have-nots, well, their rivals are the haves. So what do you think about a rivalry weekend sort of stacked like this going in?
Yeah, I definitely see. There's still going to be a ton of really fun games. I think that Florida State-Florida matchup is going to be incredible to watch, because not only do you get to have a situation where the winning team, not only do you beat your bitter in-state rival, not only does the winning team become bowl eligible, but both teams are coming into that game 5-6. So you have a situation where you could stop the other team from becoming bowl eligible. So definitely, really, really, I think that game's going to be fun. Sure, there might not be any 1 versus 2 matchup. Probably the biggest ranked matchup will be that Ohio State-Michigan game, but it really doesn't feel that close. But no, I think that one of the things that I've always kind of held as it relates to the playoffs is that it does devalue the regular season just a little bit.
It definitely does put a sting sort of on all of it. A game that I wish was better that was going to happen this weekend. Some ones to note is I wish it was going to be closer. Is Texas A&M is playing LSU in Baton Rouge. I feel like that's a great rivalry game for the SEC West, but I don't see that game being it's going to be a little one-sided, as we know Texas A&M, although underperforming to our expectations, is a pretty well put together team.
By the way, let it be known, my lack of offensive skill here is finally catching up to me with a few drops.
Finally, some drops. Finally, some bad passes. As it's 14-7, the Lions over the Cowboys, and Connor misses the field goal as we're playing here in Dallas. Connor, what's the score of the Orlando City game right now?
Yeah, live look in here at Orlando City. Orlando City, it seems like a little bit of a cagey match right now. Although Orlando City is on offense with a great look by Mueller. 0-0, 9 minutes in, and a pretty rowdy crowd in Nashville.
Hanging out in Nashville with the Nashvillians.
Nash Vegas.
The
Nash Villains. Still keeping that. But Rutledge, your South Carolina Gamecocks have a chance to right a few wrongs that the Clemson Tigers have given over the past couple years.
The South Carolina Gamecocks went ahead and won themselves and made themselves bowl eligible, beat an Auburn team we did not think they were going to beat. Amongst in this area with South Carolina fans in the discussions I've been having, a lot of us have gone back to work and said, well, I didn't see that happening. Shane Beamer's done an amazing job of taking a team which looked just as lost and turning it around. I've heard some small conversations for Coach of the Year, which feels very bold, but feels very worthy for discussion for him, as he's done a fantastic job with taking that team. Now, Clemson, according to ESPN's Football Power Index, is an 81% favorite, with Clemson being spread by 11.5. So let's slow down our roll on how excited South Carolina can be, but still to have a 6-5 record. The game's in Columbia, 7:30 night game. Williams-Brice Stadium will be jumping around to the sounds of Sandstorm. It's great to be a Gamecock a little bit again. We are gonna. Yep, that was a pick because that pass got hit and just chucked up. Someone with a silver helmet caught it. They were not a Cowboy. So I'm excited about that. Connor, what's our update on Wheaton's football?
Yes, Wheaton College, for those that are following the Division III playoffs, the Wheaton College Thunder opened their playoff run with a 65-31 victory over Aurora University. Aurora, coached by Don Beebe, played many years in the NFL for the Buffalo Bills. When Buffalo played, I believe it was the Dallas Cowboys in the Super Bowl, when Leon Lett, I don't know if you remember that play where Leon Lett got stripped when he was taking a fumble back. That was by the head coach of Aurora. So Aurora's personality is always sort of a never say die, but I think Wheaton College really came through, obviously, by scoring 65 points. Round 2 is against Central College out of Pella, Iowa. So we'll see if the Thunder can keep a good thing going this time on the road.
Stephen brings up another great rivalry to think of, and that is Georgia Southern University is playing the Appalachian State Mountaineers. I looked at the line for that is a 21.5 point favorite to App State. So myself and Stephen curled up to some pumpkin pie to drown our sorrows in what is scheduled up to be not the best affair for the blue and white. But speaking of an affair of a good time, Whoa. Weird transition, but as we talk about Thanksgiving, it's Thanksgiving, Connor. You eat a lot, you get really full. You know what soothes your stomach down? A really warm beverage. And we only have one warm beverage here that we love on French Stream Sports. What is that?
Rutledge, make sure that you get your Daddles coffee. Go to daddlesonline.com, DADDLES online.com. Type in the promo code FSS for 15% off. Fine hand-roasted cup of coffee from Winter Park, Florida. It's a good time. And the bags are purple, just like Orlando City is purple. And Orlando City actually is lining up for a corner kick here. And Orlando City's really starting to take this game on the front foot, too. Nashville. So you might hear an eruption here in just a few seconds.
I am hoping for that, but you know what? You've got to get that Daddles coffee because they erupt some of their profits to give research to save the King Cavalier Spaniel. Those dogs suffer from heart disease, hip dysplasia, and even paralysis. So use that promo code FSS to get 15% off your order. And that will lead us into our hottest take of all time. And that is our.
And might I say, Daryl DK, I think, had some Daddles coffee. He is excited because he took a corner kick off of his head into the goal, and Orlando City has taken a 1-0 lead, and the purple fans of Orlando are going nuts right now in Nashville.
Woo! That is fantastic. I feel like if we didn't want the feedback, we would have been yelling into our headsets. But it's great to be a Lion, to take the lead, but there's a lot of football left to be played.
That's
So,
15 minutes in. So, Rutledge, what is our halftime hot take?
our halftime hot take tonight is all about Thanksgiving, Connor, and here is your hottest take. Is Thanksgiving better or worse without turkey? And I want you to put it this way. You load your plate, you get everything on there, you see the bird. Is it better to have it or to skip it?
I'm going skip. I think that there's so many great sides. You can get a lot of protein. A lot of times turkey does come out dry, so I'm going skip.
I made this halftime hot take and I'm having a hard time making a pick. I'm going have. Because you gotta have it, because it's tradition. But I think turkey is only good if when like the family spread comes up and everyone lines up to get their plate, you're in there to get one of the good slices. Like whoever carved that thing makes a good slice carve. Don't give me those little scraps that are cut up. It has to be a nice slice. Give me a good slice of some turkey meat, smear some cranberry sauce on it, add a little gravy, and let me just put that back. But just one slice. Then my plate is piled high with sides. But you gotta have it.
Well, we'll just have to agree to disagree here on Friendstream Sports with our halftime hot take.
Steven says, I agree to disagree. Steven says you can take the turkey. I'll take a good old-fashioned oyster roast. A steam oyster on a crasper with a dab of Texas Pete. Steven,
that
are
would be
you
awesome. I would eat that for sure.
Steven lives in the low country of Georgia. Are you eating oysters for Thanksgiving now? He's out there. They must be just getting them by the bushel. That's the term for oysters, right? The bushel?
I think it's a murder.
No, I think that's a group of crows.
Yeah, it's a murder of oysters.
No, that's a murder of crows.
A cavalcade. Maybe a cavalcade of oysters.
What about a clump of oysters?
A clump. I could. We can go clump. A nice big clump of oysters.
A nice clump of oysters. Steven is gonna have to Google this for us and let us know what a group of oysters is called, as we are both playing video games. But either way, okay, Connor. So we've talked our college football. We're excited for the weekend, and now we need to talk some NFL football because you can't have Thanksgiving without talking some NFL football. There is one person out there, and I'm going to hold my tongue because I've never been a fan of this man and his style. But last night, Jason Garrett coached his last offensive game for the horribly underproducing New York Giants. Connor, what's your short little take on Jason Garrett losing his job?
You hate to see it. I think within a coach, right? Head coaches. That's usually the coordinators are sort of the beginning of the end, right? You're making your decision there. I think that the Giants' problems are a little bit more than just maybe bad schemes. Maybe they don't have the players to run the schemes, but even then, Jason Garrett, he never really blew the doors off me as an offensive mind.
Yeah, I think his success that he had. Oh, okay, that worked. I think his success that he had in Dallas really just came into that he had a really, really, really good roster. But even then, I always said, and I had many a college argument of this with Steven, he very much underproduced. So I was not sad to see that his team was was abysmal, and I fell asleep watching that game last night. I think I was asleep before you were last night, Connor, because they were just getting absolutely hosed.
Yeah,
And
oh yeah, no, not a kind of a snoozer there. And Tampa Bay, they're a different team at home than they are on the road. They definitely had something to prove.
so, tale of two different teams that battled it out last night. But of course, we have Thanksgiving week coming up, and there is not only are the pies going to be hot for this Thursday at noon when people are having their Thanksgiving lunch up in Michigan, but someone's seat's a little hot. Have you seen what's been going on? What happened? And Matt Nagy got asked that week.
Rutledge, why don't you fill us all in?
So what happened was Matt Nagy was in his press interview, and one of the reporters said, "Your last game coaching as a head coach." Of course, he responded with, "I haven't heard anything like that. That's not true." Did we come? Oh, there's the first pick of the game.
I miss kicks. Rutledge throws picks. Friend Stream Sports, baby.
Friend Stream Sports. So Matt Nagy, he said he hasn't, of course, met with leadership, but he was asked that, and I think that's a very bold question to get asked. Of course, the Bears have been underproducing. Justin Fields is not starting this week. Andy Dalton will start for the Bears, as our 12:30 game is the 3-7 Bears with a coach that is rumored to be getting fired versus a 0-9-1 Detroit Lions. And you know what? I'm going to watch it because it's Thanksgiving. I don't
Hey,
want.
You could watch the dog show.
See, but this is my. I think we had this argument last year, and it's all coming back to me now. But the thing is every year I take the remote, I say we're watching football, I say it's Thanksgiving, I tell my wife this is what we're gonna do. When the games are getting this bad, I can't fight off the dog show anymore because the football is bad. It's not like we're watching good games. These are probably two of the worst teams in this year's worst division of football playing at a time to where, there's only so much small talk to have. But when the football's not entertaining, it can't carry the family conversation.
I hear you, Rutledge. Live look in, and I will respond, but a live look in. Nashville just scored a nice stunner from about 25 yards out. Stripped the ball from Orlando City. Game is tied right there in Nash Vegas.
Oof. Reynolds gets another catch and just goes off to the races.
Reynolds rap. That man is tight.
He has been tearing it apart. Totally unrelated conversation. Let's jump back into the Thanksgiving off this. Steven's got some great conversation in the comments. Here's another food question for you, Connor. Cranberry sauce, whole berries or jellied?
Oh, I don't mind that. I like the jelly. I like that you can almost slice it and just kind of place and get some. You can make sure that you get some good radius on your turkey. So I'm gonna go whole. The sliced cranberry sauce.
You're a jelly guy?
I'm a jelly man.
I'm a berries dude. That's because my mom, she made the berries and she was insistent upon it. Although Steven says that he's a jelly guy. It's not Thanksgiving until you hear the solid mass of cranberry sauce plop into the bowl and slump its way onto the table.
No, there's something about that.
So Connor, what is your take on this year's Thanksgiving lineup?
Yeah, I think you definitely have. Remind me again what the late game is.
The late game this year is Bills, the 6-4 Bills at the 5-5 New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be the best game. Unfortunately, I wish Cowboys Raiders was going to be a little bit better. I think the Cowboys are a lot better than the Raiders. The Bills, they've been kind of struggling. So it could be a nice bounce back for them. So I think we can see a good opportunity to bounce back. So don't love the lineup, but when do you ever love the Thanksgiving lineup?
Yeah, I think the only time that I was excited for a Thanksgiving game was when my Seattle Seahawks were on, but that's when they were bad and they got absolutely hosed by the Dallas Cowboys. Um, Bill
And
Saints,
they're kind of hosing. The Seahawks are struggling again.
they are, yeah, we are, not a topic I'm looking forward to talking about here on French Stream Sports, but it seems like the dog days are definitely over up there in Seattle, and we're getting back to our old ways. As even though Russ is back, and we have two great receivers, there's just the same swag is not there. And I'm waiting for the ESPN alert to say that Pete Carroll is on his way out. He's packed his bags. So
Did you see that Pete Carroll left his press conference midway through?
I did not. I missed that. What did he do? What happened?
He didn't like some of the questions that he was being asked, and he was like, "Hey, I'm a sore loser, and I don't want to be a good loser." So he did not end up coming back, but
With a bunch of gum in his mouth. He probably just ran out of double bubble. That's all. He just left, went to go get more gum, he came back.
ran out of the double bubble. Wow.
That's how he keeps that jawline intact. He's always chewing gum.
That he is. By the way, I don't love that they called. I caught the ball in the end zone, but somehow they did not give me the 2-point conversion here.
That's because the ball. Are you sure it didn't look in the end zone? You should have challenged that.
Too late now.
Too late now. All right, so I need to score because it is 20-7.
Yeah, Rutledge. This is you're struggling.
I am. I didn't realize that Dallas was going to be the struggler. We're just going to run here, and we're running, and we're running. Dak Prescott is still very athletic and fast.
Oh, he's deceptively fast. That's for sure.
You know.
He can scoot, as I like to say. That the man can scoot.
That definitely sounds like a saying that you would have later on. Scoot. All right.
So there you go. All right, Zeke is starting to cook a little bit. So Rutledge, what's on the docket for you and your fam on Thursday?
So we are going to travel up to North Georgia. We're making a 4-hour ride. Here's the thing about living in the Georgia area. There is Atlanta, and there is the rest of the state. And you either live and exist in Atlanta, or you are part of the people that has to drive through Atlanta to get to the rest of the state. So I'll be driving through Atlanta this week to then go up, and then we're just going to have a turnaround meal and come back. Connor, what are you doing for Thanksgiving with your fam?
We've got a few things going. We're going to be inviting a few folks over to come watch the parade in the morning. 9 a.m. doors will be open. Ezekiel Elliott was open. Do some apple cider mimosas. Do some breakfast turkey tacos. Watch the parade. Then after that, what we're gonna do is have my mom and dad come over, do some lunch. Betsy's already been making sides. We've got a key lime pie, which although is not a typical Thanksgiving pie, will be made along with a Kentucky Derby pie. So going to be eating that. We will be getting turkey from Four Rivers Barbecue. Shout out Four Rivers. Turkey's probably the best thing on their menu. Then in the evening, we're inviting some friends over, telling them to bring some leftovers, and we're gonna kick off Christmas right, Rutledge. Watch a little Christmas Vacation.
What an evening at the Bourne household.
We're very excited for it. Although, we will. This will be our first year where there will be like some young chitlins around.
Are they your chitlins?
They are not my chitlins, but as friends come over, we will be hosting some kiddos. So, we were kind of like, man, what do we do? Do we put crayons out? What if kids draw on the wall? We don't know. So
that's what the Mr. Clean Magic Eraser is for.
Stuff.
You definitely got to be ready for the kids stuff. That's a part of growing up. There is just
Marty. So this is going to be really our first year at the Bourne household, where there's a new kids table. I think that's as kids. I don't know if you remember asking when do we get to not be at the kids table. You officially are not at the kids table anymore when you get to create the kids table. and you were not at it.
Well, I'll tell you what, I've felt like I was sitting at the kids' table anytime I came over to your house. I felt like I was put in my place every time I came over, so I don't understand how there's a kids' table and I'm not sitting at it.
Oh yeah, so we're excited about that. We're excited for Thanksgiving. I'm going to get a little workout in. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any turkey bowls to be a part of. Do
No one's
are
playing the turkey
any
football.
turkey bowls that you're going to be able to get in on?
I am not doing any sort of turkey bowls. I have not found my athletic group. I will say that I got my pre-Thanksgiving workout in today. Did a little bit of turkey picking up and with some deadlifting and got that in to sort of keep the carbs down. Uh, I will tell you my weakness for the holiday season is the week of Thanksgiving. I always want to be eating Thanksgiving food all the time. So even tomorrow, I kind of want to take my lunch break and to run over and to just go find me a Thanksgiving plate as like a practice. Because it's such a distinct meal that, even though some people will serve a holiday dinner at Christmas time, you may go to a restaurant, they'll have turkey and sides. It's just the flavor palette. Wow, did you see that hit? That was very
That's what we call
vile.
the hit stick.
But I need to find me some Thanksgiving food tomorrow. That's my turkey bowl is to just eat more turkey.
Not turkey bowl, turkey goals.
Turkey goals.
Uh, Dude, yeah, our church does the Turkey Eve event. I know it'd be a far drive from you, but I will be eating my first Thanksgiving meal tomorrow night.
Do they serve it at midnight? Is it like a midnight mass?
It is not like a midnight mass, just tomorrow evening. In fact, that's where I came from. We were setting up for Turkey Eve, so getting folks all lined up, ready to roll. So definitely excited about the opportunity to have some turkey. Betsy did make some green bean casserole, and there's going to be a lot of other sides for sure.
I don't know how I feel about that. Your entire defense just stepped up towards me, Connor, like I was in elementary school playing kickball all over again. There have been many
You
things
know,
on this show, but to watch the whole defense in that quarter formation, everyone come up about 5 yards.
hey, we got to make sure that can't give anyone a clean break like Amari Cooper just had.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna throw the deep ball out of my disrespect. So speaking of some disrespect, there's not a lot of powerful games going on this Sunday, except there's two I want us to talk about, three I want us to talk about. Titans, Patriots, Rams, Packers, and even Browns, Ravens. I will say what I said last year, and I'll say it again. What if that was our Thanksgiving Day lineup, as you had all three of those games slotted in? I feel like I would never leave the couch. Connor, of those three, which one are you excited to watch?
I think that the Browns. You said it was Browns Ravens. I think that game is going to have just a lot of divisional implications and be able to answer a lot of questions of are the Browns good? Are the Ravens good? I mean, it's definitely we're asking some of those questions for sure. So I think that we're going to really get to see the hopefully the best of both teams.
Hopefully the best of both teams, but sadly Connor grabbed himself another pick. Also, did you see today that Adrian Peterson has been waived from the Tennessee Titans? They have moved on.
Did not see that.
Yeah, they have moved on from him. He is done. No
That
longer a Titan.
that's interesting because Derrick Henry is also not playing for the Titans.
Yeah, but I definitely read that, so I was about surprised. They waived him, but they did sign Golden Tate to practice squad. So bringing in a not as notable, he hasn't done anything in a while, but a decent talent to where if they needed to bring someone up, do you feel like this is a sign they're changing their overall offensive scheme?
Maybe they just had a hard time with Adrian Peterson, and they, yeah, I could see as teams are starting to adjust, I could see them really wanting to get the ball, into the hands of Ryan Tannehill to his receivers more.
Definitely. Well, that's a quickly well lit up game. Connor, congratulations on what a Thanksgiving win, as it was the silver and blue beats the silver and blue. But now it's time for our picks. We're going to pick every Thanksgiving game plus a couple college football games. Connor, do you want to pick some Thanksgiving first, or do you want to pick some college football first?
Feed me those Thanksgiving Day games.
Okay, first up on the list, the Bears playing the Lions with Chicago favored by 3 points in Matt Nagy's final game. Who are you taking?
I'm taking the Lions, man. These guys play hard, and I
Okay.
think that they're gonna have a little juice on them.
Steven, make sure to drop your picks in the comments as well. I am going to go with also the Lions. I think they're going to notch their first win of the season. Anytime they win on Thanksgiving, it's always a very historical thing because they never do it. So it'll be big to see the Lions win. 4:30, you got your Raiders against the Cowboys, but the Cowboys are a 7.5 point favorite. I'm going to go the Cowboys because we've been giving them a lot of respect on this show. And I'm sorry, Connor, but the Raiders, they just don't have it.
Yeah, Raiders are pretty bad right now. I see the Cowboys winning that one, and not necessarily because Dallas is going to play well, but because the Raiders are just really struggling right now.
Oof. I know Steven's got Bears and Cowboys. To finish it out here, we have our 8:20 Thanksgiving game. Bills versus the Saints in New Orleans. Buffalo is a 6 point favorite.
Yeah, I see Josh Allen continuing to struggle, and Who Dat Nation, really comes on strong with the win.
You got to put away all the leftovers and clear the table because I'm taking the Buffalo Bills. We're going to slam our way through that table and we're going to win this Thanksgiving. So I'm taking the Bills.
Well, la di da. Let's pick a few college games.
College games on the slate here. One that I want to sort of talk about first is, of course, the big one. Ohio State at Michigan, number 2 Ohio State at number 5 Michigan. The line for this game is set at Ohio State is favored by 8.5 points. That feels kind of low for Ohio State. Who are you taking in this one?
Yeah, I see Ohio State winning. I don't think Michigan is gonna put up much of a fight.
I'm also taking Ohio State. I would love to see Michigan blow up college football, but I don't think they have it in them. The other one to talk about is a local game for you, Connor. This is Florida versus Florida State. Florida's a 3 point favorite. Who are you taking in this game?
Are kind of moving in the right direction. Dan Mullen, just getting fired. I think that they are really gonna. I think Florida, they just don't have it right now.
No, I'm with you. I'm going to take Florida State as well. I think they will sort of lock it down and they will make it happen. And we need one more here. This one's fun. This is the 7:30 ABC game. This is a top 10 matchup. Here's where, Connor, I want you to guess each team's ranking. One of them, and it's just higher or lower. You have to tell me which one is the higher one. Oklahoma versus Oklahoma State. Who is the higher ranked team? Well, lost Connor there for a second as we got technical difficulties. So Oklahoma State is actually the higher ranked of the two teams. They're a 4 point favorite. And as that goes, you have they are a little bit favored there. I'm going to take Oklahoma State to beat Oklahoma at home. It has been a very disappointing season for Oklahoma, but it's been a very interesting season for Oklahoma State. So as that goes, that's our picks for the week. I want to thank Steven for coming out. I'm sure
And Connor is back.
And Connor is back. I thought I lost you, but he came back.
Well, if we're talking about Bedlam, I'm taking the
Taking the Cowboys. Fantastic. And there we go. As we have it, Steven took Chicago, the Dallas Cowboys, the Buffalo Bills, Ohio State, Florida, and then he's taking Oklahoma over Oklahoma State. So, Connor, anything you want to say to the people before we go?
Vamos Orlando, Vamos Florida State, Vamos everybody except Nashville and the Gators.
Except Nashville and the Gators. Well, with that, I just want to say happy Thanksgiving, Connor. And for Friend Stream Sports, I'm Rutledge. And that's Connor. And have a good night.